Welcome back, Paint Can family. Today we are out on the 97 Honda Valkyrie. It belongs to my buddy Bruce, letting me ride it for a little bit longer. Definitely appreciate him allowing me to do that. Today we are going to take a trip into the Catskills. Last time we got together, we were in the Adirondacks. They were going to be checking out the Catskills, seeing if the leaves have changed any colors. We've got a really neat wooden bridge we're going to check out, and then a steel cable, really odd looking single lane bridge. Gonna check that out as well. Where will we go? I am not sure. I just know we're heading to the Catskill Mountains. Stick around. Rebuild this section of road, kind of neat. One of the things we see lately a lot here in New York is when they go by and they melt the old blacktop and then lay it back down again, and then they'll go over it with a fresh coat over top. But one of the ways, rather than milling it out to recycle it, is to do this instead, and it works pretty decent. So hopefully they get this all done and totally repaved here pretty soon, because this is an area where a lot of motorcycles ride, and it's been getting not necessarily all that rough, but a lot of cracks in it, the tar snakes, a lot of patchwork, and it's just not that great. So now it looks like they're going to resurface it. It's going to be great. So some of you might be wondering, Paint Can, where are you? Because maybe I'd like to ride this area as well. Right now we are on Highway 28, which is a state road from Oneonta heading toward Delhi. So we're heading in the southern direction. Used to be a really sharp corner here where people crashed on a lot, so they put the roundabout in to make it a little bit safer. Did that a few years ago. Like I said before, this is, I wouldn't say a heavily traveled road for bikes, but there's a lot of bikes do ride this, because there's not a lot of totally straight sections. I won't say that it's a twisty road, but it is very windy as it heads, you know, into the Delhi area. So it's just a kind of a cool road that I'd say maybe once, twice a year try to go down this direction. I believe it was last year, the year before, they repaved this whole section of it, so it's in really excellent condition. And I think that might be another reason a lot of bikes do ride on it, is because of the quality of the pavement, as well as, I would say, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the camera, but a suggested speed here of 45 miles an hour for the corners. As I said before, not super twisty or anything like that, but very windy, where you've got, you know, turn after turn after turn down through, rather than the boredom of straight roads you see in a lot of areas. Absolute gorgeous day today. About 64 degrees, few clouds in the sky, but very few. One of those days where you can just get out and ride, be comfortable on the bike. You're not hot, you're not cold. You can wear some safety gear without the sweat of it. Just a gorgeous day to ride. into a nice area. This is something we see a lot in our area. Farmers out trying to get their last bit of hay in. This guy was out raking. A lot of tractors, big time farm area. A lot of tractors out on the road, out doing their thing, because fall is just around the corner, and then we got our mess of snow that some of you like, but definitely not me. Going through the little town here of Marydale. We're starting to see a little bit of leaf color. A lot of it just kind of brown so far, not great color, but it has been cool. A little bit of red on that one. It has been cool the last few nights, maybe for a week or so. It's been down in the 40s, so that's definitely the start of it. So where the leaves will start changing. I was surprised when we were up in the Adirondacks last week that we didn't have a whole lot of color yet. There was a tree here and there that started to change, usually maples, because they're about the first. Some of the more scrubby, bushy little trees on the side of the road, you'll see them change fairly quickly as well, but not a lot yet. I was kind of surprised with that. A bit busy today. It's almost 1 o'clock, but busy downtown today. I've always thought this was a neat little town. I don't think I'd want to live here because I don't like everything being all close together and such, but the old like painted brick buildings, and looks like we got a farmer's market going on today over here. It's probably why it's so busy, is because of the farmer's market, but a lot of the old architecture of the town I think is really cool. I gotta say, this is a pretty cool road. Just wanted to check out a back county road, take a shortcut from one town to the next that I was going to go to. Didn't know anything about this road, looked on my phone. It's County Route 26. It's a shortcut from Route 10 below Hamden over to 206 in Downsville. Didn't know anything about it being here or anything, but it's a pretty good condition, uphill, downhill, around the corner, pretty decent scenery to the hillsides. Really nice road, and those of you who know me, you know I like the back road riding. This is a little bit better than the back roads I would usually ride, though. I was attempting to find a back road. Well, this is nicer than I expected. I love New York. This whole area around here has a lot of reservoirs that are the water supply for the city of New York. So I'm assuming this is one of the water supply guys. But it's kind of interesting that that vehicle belongs to the city of New York. So anytime I come to Downsville, I always think this is pretty neat. Come across this little single lane wooden covered bridge. Actual wood plank decking, the wood all on the inside, big beams and such, single lane bridge. I just think it's really neat. Maybe it's just me, but it makes me happy. A back road going down through the center of the valley here for the east branch of the Delaware River. This road, I will say, I've been on many times. going parallel with a nice state road on the other side of the river, but just more scenic to me on these little back roads. So I'd rather take that one, and I'm going to take you down to another bridge that I find quite unique. I'm not sure what intrigues me about them. My oldest daughter, she's scared of about every bridge out there. I find that kind of humorous because I'm intrigued by them, but I don't know, some of the designs and different people's ideas on how to put a bridge together in certain instances, like I said, it intrigues me. There's something kind of neat about it in my mind. So this here is one of the reasons I like taking back roads. You never know what you're going to run across. I don't know if you can see it good, but there's a chimney. Just a chimney. The rest of the building is gone, but there's a chimney on the side of the road. And the first time I came down through here, I mean, I didn't have a clue. I was just shooting back over to the state road I was parallel with. 8-ton weight limit, 11.6 height limit, 1 lane, old steel deck bridge. So bikes and steel deck bridges, they're kind of wobbly with the tires, but I mean, take a look at the cables, and I don't know, the way this thing is designed. You can look down through and see the river below. Just a neat design to this bridge, with the cables going across to a concrete abutment on the bank on the other side. Pretty neat design. Like I said, some of those things, they intrigue me for whatever reason. So just went by a sign that says that we are officially in the Catskill Park. So it's not necessarily a park, as we call the Adirondack Park as well. It's just the Catskill Mountains of New York State. We're officially in the Catskills. Run along Route 206 up the hill out of Downsville. Can-Am Spider going the other way. Seen quite a few different bikes out today, riding around and enjoying an absolutely beautiful day. This is the Downsville Dam. As I said before, with that pickup with the water sources for New York City, Downsville Dam, the lake that it holds back, is one of those water sources, water supplies that supplies the city of New York. The ones up our direction, up into the Adirondacks as well, a lot of those are used for, sometimes it's a combination, sometimes it's for the water supply for what used to be the Erie Canal, now the Barge Canal. It'll regulate the amount of water going into that to make the canal work, and some of them are for hydroelectric as well. There's one in my area, Hinckley. That's a reservoir that has electric and recreation and water supply for the city of Utica and surrounding areas of the Mohawk Valley. So it's one of those, it's got a lot going on with that particular one. Love the sound of those pipes. And then there's this. Something you won't see me doing all that often is riding on an interstate. But I only got a certain amount of time, got to be back this evening. Those of you who know me on a personal level, you know I'm a pastor as well. We've got a Bible study tonight I got to get back for. So I don't have all day. There is a nice short, back road section that takes you down to the direction I'm going, but the quickest, best way is some of the shortcuts I've taken on the good back roads, and then here on Route 17, heading southeast. So we're we're going to be on this for maybe 20 miles or so. Not too big a thing, but I'm not a real big fan of the interstate riding. It's just straight, flat, boring for the most part. Well, so good and bad. We're off the big road, but now we're into city traffic in Monticello, 42 South. Got some folks in the crosswalk. So if you've made it this far in the video, comment below, where do you think we're heading? What do we got in this area that's kind of cool and intriguing? Drop that in a comment below. I'd also ask that you would like and share and subscribe and, you know, all that stuff. All the stuff that the YouTubers ask you to do, I definitely would appreciate that. Because it's those types of things that help keep the videos coming. Helps people see what we've got going on. And when we look at the analytics of how many people view, from a small channel, so I don't get a tremendous amount of views, but the majority of the people that do view it are not subscribed. So please, if you're watching and you made it this far and you enjoy the content that I'm putting out, I would ask that you would subscribe. Hit that bell notification so that next time I upload a video, you'll get a notification that it's there. State Route 42 heading south. Outside of town now. A beautiful, wide, smooth road. 55 speed limit. Cruise right along at 55 and just enjoy the road. Some ups and downs, some corners. Beautiful road to ride. So if you can read that sign, but that's where we're heading. The Hawk's Nest. Riding a little slow, letting cars get out ahead of us a little bit. Yeah, this is a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit here, which that's no big deal. But this is one of the absolute best places I can ever think of to ride a motorcycle. Absolutely great. As you'll see, very twisty, windy, sheer drop off on one side, straight up on the other in the rocks. Probably the best 1 mile or so of riding anywhere, in my opinion. Absolutely love riding the Hawk's Nest, so I hope you enjoy. Look at the cliffs up here to the right, and then you look out over the Delaware River out into Pennsylvania on the other side of the river. Just absolutely beautiful. But here's the cool part, all the little switchbacks. Back and forth, because this is the way the river runs, so this is the way they had to build the road because of it. Absolutely awesome, and almost always see a bike in one of the pull-offs, because there's a lot of bikes ride this little section of road. Absolutely awesome section of road. The downside, it's over already. Couple turns to go up here, but the actual straight up, straight down kind of thing. Very short section, but it's just the views and the rock wall on the other side. It's just awesome. So as with anything, you can't ride 130 miles. And no, it wasn't the shortest way. I'm not saying it's 130 miles from my house, but it took me about 130 miles with some of the route that I took. You can't ride it just one way. You definitely got to turn around and go back through. Maybe a couple times even. I know I laugh because some of the times I'll pull off on the side in one of those pull-offs, and you'll see a bike or a don't know, a Corvette, Camaro, Mustang, something like that go flying by. A couple minutes later, goes back the other way. A couple minutes later, it's coming back through again. But a lot of people do ride or drive quite a few miles to get here because it is so scenic. It's kind of raw nature sort of a thing that you're not just going to go through it once. You're definitely going to turn around and take another look at it from the other way as well, because again, you ride all this way, you definitely want to be able to see all of it you can. And then you run into cars. Don't they know we're trying to have fun? Don't they understand? Yes, this is a state road, but don't they understand? They should only ride down through here with their truck or with their cars at night when the bikes are not here. Or find a more boring stretch of road to ride on. Stopped and took some pictures. The last trip up through, second trip going north, did one south, then we're going to be heading back toward the house because, like I said, got a Bible study tonight, got to get back to that. A couple guys stopping, taking pictures right here. A lot of riders out today, no question about it. Delaware River off here to the left. It just rocks. Now I know if you're from the west where you got the Rocky Mountains and all that, this is nothing. And honestly, this isn't much. But it's what we got around here. And it's pretty awesome. The Catskill Mountains of New York. Like I've said before, I really enjoy a lot of areas of the Adirondacks, but there's not a lot of roads through the Adirondacks. It's just desolate. Whereas the Catskills, there's a lot more population, so there's a lot more roads you can ride on. And it's just a nicer riding experience for the bike, because you can hit a different road and go somewhere else that you may not have gone before, but it's not going to take you 50 to 60 miles out of the way to do it. It might only take you 20 miles out of the way. I call this the road to nowhere, or the bridge to nowhere, because literally it's a fairly new, nice concrete bridge. It's narrow, it's only one lane, but you know, it's a nice bridge across here. And as you'll see on the other end here, it's legitimately a bridge to nowhere, as the sign says when you start out on it, it says no outlet, which, yeah, no outlet. It comes over here and you can go either way, and it's just dirt road. Because I don't know if it goes to camps or where it does go to, but there's legit no outlet. But it's just kind of a unique bridge the way it's built and everything, and it goes literally the bridge to nowhere. Never understood the amount of money they put into it. Somebody must have had political pull, or I really don't know. There's something going on. When we turned around on the other side, we went out of state. That's Pennsylvania over there, so we're right on the southern border of New York. The Delaware River here, as far as I know, does separate New York and Pennsylvania through this stretch. A lot of the Delaware River does not, but I believe all along this stretch from about Fort Jervis up through the Delaware River is the state border. We've seen the Hawk's Nest, 3 different kind of cool bridges, a little bit of 4-lane, a little bit of 2-lane, a little bit of 1-lane. And until we get together again, hopefully in another week or so, I would ask that God would bless you and yours, and have a great day.